What's good with YouTube? You already know. This is Flacco, man, with a convict's reaction, man. This is something new that we're doing on the previous channel that we had that I had to do something with it to change up, otherwise I was going to lose the channel. So I figured I'd start doing a convict's reaction to either movies, YouTube shows, podcasts, books, or whatnot, and give you guys my whole convict reaction, you know? And I thought one of the things I wanted to address was the first this is not going to just be about North Daniel channels, Sudanio channels, California channels. I'm going to go throughout the whole United States and give a convict's reaction from a California perspective, you know, in my perspective of the things I've been through and what I think and what I view. Now, the first one I'm going to go into, man, is I think that this is the one of the top channels out there, man, because everything he's been speaking about has been during a time era that the aftermath of when I was already done. A lot of the names I personally know. Either some of them I had working relationships with, some of them, pretty much all of them, man, I knew pretty well, man. And I think that he does a very good job on his channel of going through the details, the who, what, where, when, why, to give you guys a grasp and understanding of what he's trying to sit there and validate. You know, if it's not a personal story, he's going to give you where he got the information from and how you can corroborate it. You know what I mean? Sometimes, I mean, the only thing that I will see at times that maybe something to a small critique is sometimes some of the past stuff that was before his time era. There's been a couple things that were not accurate, but that's not his fault. I do the same thing when I talk about things my past. So it's not a malicious intent to do things. Neither is it on my end when I do certain content during the era that I wasn't present. And that's Renegade Media. His video yesterday, the tragedy in Goshen. I thought it was an excellent video. I thought it pretty much, I thought he did his due diligence in looking into case factors and additional facts and information, and he used his resources, being from that area, to provide a well detailed video, man. Like, it probably was one of the better videos I've seen out there. You know what I'm saying? Mine was just the base factors of what was being said. It wasn't me doing any research because I don't really have as many contacts in that county. But when I listened to it, I was impressed. And, you know, the whole theory that he said about the kids, about the infant being killed, that's exactly what I said, 100%, that's not going to be accepted. You know what I mean? So everything that he said on this video was on time. But I like how he presented some personal stories afterwards about, rushing in on some dudes, some vices out there, and his homeboy getting scared, and about the dude who, was fucking had a handmade fucking piezo and shit. And I thought it was very detailed, and that's the thing I like about Renegade Media's videos is that he personalizes his content. He brings forth his personal stories involved with what's current, which is cool. He has he's very well rounded about doing his videos, man. It's really easy. It's easier in the beginning if you guys notice. Like some of our more detailed videos, me and Rojo's or mine personally, was in the beginning because you have so much fresh content that you can talk about. And break down the political structure, the organizational decisions and choices and involvement. You know what I'm saying? So right now he's on the perfect pace as far as what he's doing, and he's only going to get better because, you find your groove after a while. You know what I'm saying? Then when you find your groove, you're going to hit that plateau where you're like, oh, okay, I need content ideas. You start to be more personalized. But overall, I've been tapping into a lot of his content, and see, I told him when I first talked to him, like when some other stuff happened, he was first dropping videos. I told him, I go, you're gonna do good, bro. I said, you got. The moment I first heard his first video, when he broke something down and he was in response to something, I was like, okay, he's misconstruing some things off of insinuations, right? And that was, towards me and some other channels. But I go, but he's pretty sharp, man. I go, if he knew, he's gonna fix this. I know the caliber of dude he is. I go. I'm listening to him. I go, was this dude an Soldado? Was he a bro? I go, because I'm hearing how he's presenting himself before he even has a YouTube channel. He's doing a quick address of some stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I got to tap in with this dude. You know what I'm saying? I tapped into him, and we talked. And man, he's kept it solid, man. Like since even in lieu of all the issues and conflicts that sometimes have arisen on YouTube, he's been solid, man. He's made a lot of smart choices. You know what I'm saying? And he isn't afraid to reach out to anybody on there to get assistance as far as how this YouTube stuff works. And I think that's pretty much helped guide him as he's seen some of the stuff that's happened with other channels. And he's been able to ignore and neglect. You know what I'm saying? Like, Even when someone did a video on in response to something, right? I had to sit there and after talking to him, he made a comment to me, and I had to respect what the fuck he said. So I ended up fucking cutting out that part, and I was like, you know, you're right, bro. I go, even though this isn't from me to say this to you, it still is directed at you. I got to take this shit down. And see, that's the kind of respect that this dude has, and I appreciated that time. You know what I mean? Um, but the video was on time, man. And you know, on YouTube sometimes, man, because of all the criticisms we can get doing what we do, um, we have a tendency to have the some of us do the tendencies to feel the need to explain ourselves. I'm one of those ones that's guilty of it because you get such attacked for such bullshit sometimes, or for people misinterpreting what you say, that you have to sit there and present everything to people in order for them to understand what you're saying. And he does the same thing. I mean, that's I get it because when he's explaining it, it's because you're trying to eliminate any type of criticism or critique. Because when you're doing a video, sometimes you think people know what you're saying, and you present it maybe in a fashion that people want to twist it up because those are their whole ambitions. Those are their intentions, man. But this video, man, check it out though. Check out all his content. You know, this is also a channel reaction to him, and I've picked him because I feel like he's made every proper step as far as in what he's done on his channel. I think he's listened to advice, and I think he's gonna be even more successful in doing so. He's gonna eventually gonna get the trolls. He's eventually gonna get attacked, and he may have one day where he gets out of character. We all do, man. So, but for the most part, I think he got a good head on his shoulders. I think he's you know, excelling at this time. You know, I think he's proud to be a father. I think he still has. Look, he became a writer, but he also has a lot of the true ideologies of what the North Daniel movement was about. I see that in him at times, in some of the things that he expresses, because there's certain things about being an ensoldado, about being a hermano, that are positive qualities that will help you as a man. And those are the characteristics I see at times. You know what I'm saying? And the things that we were supposed to be about. You know what I'm saying? The promotion, advocacy of unity, respect, holding yourself to a higher standard. You know what I'm saying? The strive, the agendas, the 5 Ws in filing reports. I see a lot of hermano tendencies and qualities in him. You know what I'm saying? At times I feel sometimes you know, he maybe could refrain from a little things as far as the negativity of the lucha, because this is what people forget too, man. And you know, he had a bad taste situation happen to him. I had a bad taste situation happen to me. Just because there's those individuals that are bandidos that thrive upon the people's sweat and blood, and abuse their authority or positions, does not mean that every soldado that follows their rank and file is guilty of such. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta remember that. You know what I'm saying? Just as there's fucking carnales that were pieces of shit, there's carnales that are fucking rock solid, and that's the truth. Same thing with hermanos, and same thing with northerners, and these are for active dudes. You know what I'm saying? Just like on the inactive side, there's dudes that deserve to be there. They're fucking trash. And then there's dudes that got caught up politically. You know what I'm saying? We got to always remember, just because we have one bad experience that pertain to us, don't outline or portray the whole collective. Because the lucha in general, and cause, let's get to it, is beautifully if it's applied right, but it's a man-made thing. So therefore, the application of it is never going to be exactly how you expect it. Therefore, you're set up for failure. That's why there's always going to be a struggle, because you're always going to have these setbacks, you know. But overall, man, like I said, he's had some experience. He has some good stories. He's been around some people. A lot of the carnales he was around, I personally knew. You know what I'm saying? You know, Silver. I knew Silver real well. I held the chain of command position in 4B4 left when I was there. You know what I mean? I was ENT. You know, Mondo Quinn. Mondo Quinn was fucking like my neighbor, then my cellie for a brief second. I knew Mondo. Well, I remember when he got to Corcoran. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, the whole bunch of other people. You know what I mean? Either I knew of, or I dealt with directly, or I didn't deal with. You know, and what he brings to the table that's pretty unique is that he was a hermano that was, you know, involved. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how long he had held his status for or whatnot, or what type of his full credentials as far as his resume. But he seemed like he knows what time it is. But then he was also a writer too. So here you are getting someone that's from both sides, and that's kind of a rarity, because a lot of dudes that are actually hermanos are not going to actually undertake the rider movement and be successful. There's a couple that I know that have already been like pretty much pushed back that I heard. You know, like Shorty, fucking Roper, you know, all these dudes. And these are dudes I've known for years that were, you know what I'm saying, ready to put in work. You know, so like I said, Renegade Media, the video he did on that one was fucking solid on Goshen. But his channel overall, like I said, this is also reaction to his channel. He's done some good content. You know what I'm saying? There's no he's only gonna improve, and he has improved. And I think that he's analytical enough to sit there and take a step back and look at what works with each channel. And I think he's pretty much emulated that into his own type of fucking speaking and his own way of how he does things. You know, which is cool. You know, I mean, he does. You know, just one thing I told him, man, watch out for them trolls, man, and don't always get caught up in all the rumor mix of things that go on, because YouTube is like one of the most chaotic at times platforms. It's like people take it. People sometimes say don't take YouTube too personal, but you have to at sometimes. You know what I mean? And people are getting smoked. They're getting shot. You know what I'm saying? So you can't sit there and act like, well, it's just YouTube. Well, if it's just YouTube, then why the fuck are people getting shot? Or, you know what I mean? And you know, those are things that we have to really take heed to as far as being content, you know, content creators. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, like I said, I decided to do him as one of my first reactions to that video, which gave details about who was potentially associated, who the names were, what really happened, what the theories are, and then he even said that the things that he didn't know, he clearly fucking stated it for everybody to hear. You know, but there's gonna be people that are gonna try to twist words up. That's how the game goes. But I thought it was a well detailed presentation. Respect to the lost lives as well, and everything that he said, I pretty much stand behind. Those are my same type of fucking thinking process. You know, kids in general is a no-no. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're gonna do that. Do that over there. You know what I'm saying? Not over here. You know what I'm saying? If these political organizations here in the state, you know, you get locked in California, you already know who's running it, and there's no denying that. You know, and when you can run the inside, you're gonna have a lot of control on the outside, because there's certain things that you can get done on the inside that the outside has no fucking say. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, this is my first reaction. Renegade Media, fucking keep on doing your thing, brother. Have a good one.